Nico!
What's going on, guys? We're back with another Tekken 8 video. It's your boy Nico's World,
Nico!
and today we are going to go over the Lars versus Eddy Gordo matchup. So, Eddy does have some weaknesses, but that doesn't negate the fact that he is still very annoying to deal with. He's, very confusing. He's just kicking at you. He's just all over the place. He could be very disorienting and confusing to deal with. So we're going to just kind of go over it. I tried my best to kind of just chop it up, compact it as best as I could. I took my time with this character to look him over and see the things that he could do, essentially. So, like I said, Eddy's very annoying to deal with, but we're just gonna have to deal with him regardless. So let's get right into it. The first thing I am going to go into is his stances. Eddy has two stances. One is called Negativa, and one is called it says like Banary or some shit like that. I just say banana. So he has Negativa stance and banana stance. And banana stance is, show you in a second. Banana stance is this right here. That's his banana stance. It's his handstand. This is what he does. And then his Negativa stance is this. So, from his banana stance, he has 7 moves in total from this stance. 7 moves at first, but he does have a stock mechanic, and when he has stock, he goes from 7 moves to 9 moves. The first thing I'm going to tell you about this stance is that there is pretty much no reason to duck this stance. Most of the moves that he has from this stance are mids. The only thing that you may want to duck is this. That is unbreakable, and it wall splats. So just to give you a heads up, if your back is to the wall and he's doing this right here in your face, more than likely he's gonna do this because it wall splats. He's gonna want that, right? So just be on the lookout for that. But other than that, there's really no other reason to duck this stance, because he has no lows from this stance. Well, he does when he has stock, but I'll get into that. Now, what Eddies like to do when they're in this stance is their favorite move from this stance is this right here. And the reason why they do that is because it is a juicy +6 on block. See that right there? +6. So, like, with Lars, it's basically like this, into stance. It's the same concept. Same thing. So, continuing. From banana stance, he has his 1. That's his +6 on block. That puts him into this next stance, Negativa. He has his 2-3. That gives him stock, and that is -13 on block. So if you block this, make sure to punish. Oops, I have pressed. Make sure to punish, but the thing is that he doesn't have to commit to it if he doesn't want to. Right? So he could just do this. He doesn't have to finish it. But if he does finish it, just be ready to punish. Another thing he has is banana 3-3-3-3-3-3-3-3-3. So what this does, it puts him into Negativa stance, but what you need to do as the player is you need to be ready to duck those highs. There's 2 highs in that string. You need to be ready to duck those. There's two of them. Oh, wow, that doesn't work. Yeah, so you need to be ready to duck those. But if you can't duck those, make sure to when you take your turn back, make sure to do a mid. It has to be a mid, because if you jab, this is what's gonna happen to you. My turn now, jab. No, you can't. Don't jab. You must do a mid. It has to be a mid. If you jab, he's gonna do a hell sweep and it's gonna go right under that. So make sure when you take your turn back, mid. If you can't duck those highs, make sure it's a mid. And then moving on to his next move, it's his 4-2. This is unsafe on block at minus, I believe this is minus 12. Yes, minus 12. It's minus 12. If he finishes it, this is his fastest move from this stance. It's a 12 frame mid. It is very fast, but if he doesn't finish the string, he's minus 3. When you try to retaliate, make sure, as always, do a mid, because this character is very, very evasive. He has a lot of evasion, so you make sure it has to be a fast mid. But again, if he finishes the string, that right there is minus 12. So again, be ready to punish. Punish. Moving on to the next one, he also has a power crush from this stance in case you try to retaliate. It is his 1+2. It is minus 12 on block. So be ready to punish with your 12 frame. And then he has an evasive move from this stance. It is his back 3. That is a counter hit launcher. It is minus 12 on block. So if you see him do it, again, 12 frame. So the name of the game with Eddy when he's in banana stance is 12 frame. 12 frame, 12 frame, 12 frame. A lot of his moves in banana stance is 12 frame. When you see him doing all this right here, and he's finishing strings, you know, things like that, 12 frame. And he can go into negativa stance if he wants to. He can transition like this, like that if he wants to. Moving on to his negativa stance now. He has his 1-3 right here. Eddies should not be throwing this out like that, because if they do, whoops, I messed up. It's minus 14 on block. 14 frame punish. Yeah, you gotta buffer it. You have to be fast. But remember, if you can't get the 14 frame, down forward 2 still works. That's still effective. You can still just do that. Kind of hard to do that, honestly. But again, just know that that is minus 14, and you can hit him with your down forward 2. That still works. That is still within the frame. Another thing he has is, from Negativa, he has, I should say this before I even continue this. From Negativa, he has 6 moves. He has 6 moves from Negativa stance. The first one I told you about was minus 14 right there. He has another string. It is his 2-4-4. 2-4-4. It is a mid, high, mid. 2-4-4. Mid, high, mid. That string has 2 weaknesses to it. There's 2 weaknesses to it, and I'll show you right now. Second hit is a high, and if he finishes the string, minus 14. Just like that. So if you just be on the lookout for that, duck it or punish. Boom, 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 punish. Duck. Duck it. Just like that. Two weaknesses to it. If you can't duck the second hit, you could launch punish him because Lars has a 14 frame punish. The next move that he has is, from this stance, he actually does have a low. It is his 3-3. We've all been hit by this. We all know about this low. It is very fast. It is as fast as Kazuya's Hell Sweep. And it gives him stock. That's it's a very tricky low. It's hard to see it It's honestly a guess because you're not really going to react to it. It's because it's so fast. It's 16 frames. It's hella fast. But it gives, just know that it gives him stock, launch punishable on block. The next one he has is his 4-3. That is a heat engager from Negativa stance, and it is minus 13 on block. Let me just show you. Punish. The next move he has is his 3+4. They don't really use this because it's so unsafe. This is this right here because it's minus 18 on block. Right there. So this is, if they're doing that move, they're just banking on you really like ducking, and that's just a raw launcher. So be on the lookout for that. But if you block it, make sure to kill him. It's minus 18 on block. So make sure to punish that if you see it. And then he has a grab from Negativa stance as well. So that's it right there. He has a grab from Negativa stance. It's a 1+2 break. I'll just show you it right now. So be on the lookout for that. 1+2 break. Just like that. Okay, so just to kind of drill back into it, Negativa, he has 6 moves. Banana stance, he has 7 moves. When he has stock, his banana stance is buffed and he has 9 moves. When he has stock, he does have a low from banana stance. He is granted a low from banana stance. If he has 2 stocks, the low is a knockdown. If he has 1 stock, it's it forces crouch and gives +4. Yeah, so this right here. Notice how he has to be in banana stance. He has to be on his handstand. That's the low. He only has 1 stock, so it only gives him force crouch at +4. And then level 2, knockdown. And it would floor break if there was a floor break. And he has a mid. That mid is a chunky mid, +8 on hit, forces crouch, and but the most important thing of that of it all is that is +6 on block. So when he does that, when he gets stock, he is buffed. His banana stance is buffed. His handstand stance. But if he has level 2, it's just a knockdown with this mid. It doesn't grant more plus frames on block or anything like that. It's still +6. But he can shift into Negativa stance from that attack. Okay, so now that we went over his stances, let's get into some things I think you should just honestly just genuinely know about. So his while standing 4, it's a 4-hit string, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's a couple things you should know about this string. So first of all, there's a high in there. You can duck the second hit. But if you, let's say you don't duck it, if you can't duck it, the last hit of that string, you can jab him out of it. But if you don't jab him out of it, he's +4 in your first force crouch, which means that it's his turn if you don't do something about that last hit. There's 2 things that you could do about that last hit. You can jab him out. You can do that. Or you can sidestep. But you have to sidestep to the right. You cannot sidestep to the left, because if you sidestep to the left, it still hits you. If you sidestep right, it connects. And you don't have to sidewalk either. You can just tap it. Just tap it once. 1, 2, 3, sidestep. 1, 2, 3, jab. Don't let Eddy get away with that. Yeah, don't let Eddy get away with that. Anytime you see him about to do that flip, jab him. Don't let him get that +4 for free. Don't let him get that. When Eddy is in crouch in your face, there's two things that he can do here. For the most part, right? So he's gonna either do while crouching down forward 3. This is +6 on block and puts him in negativa stance. Or he could do while crouching down forward 4. And that puts him in banana stance. +6, see? And he's in negativa. Just like that. Or he has the low. And that's launch punishable. But be careful with that kick, because that is a counter hit launcher. See? So be careful with that. There's another thing I want to tell you guys about. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. So another thing he has, and you want to pay attention. So Eddy has strings. There's strings that you kind of want to pay attention to, right? So this right here is his back 1. They tend to use this a lot. And reason being is because there's a whole mind game with this string. So what the mind game is essentially is that he can decide to go into stance after this, or he can finish the string and there's a mid and low mix up from this string. It is a 4-hit string, but if he does the low, then it's a 3-hit string. But he can cancel the second hit and go into stance. But he can finish the string like that. But he is -12. -12, just like that. If he finishes it. But what you need to look out for is that there is also a mix-up in here. Right there. He has a low knockdown. That used to be a launcher in Tekken 7, so they nerfed it. It's still launch punishable, but it knocks down. So after that kick right there, that kick, you kind of have to decide, you kind of have to just really pay attention. Like, is he going to do the low? Is he going to do the mid? Or is he going to go into stance? So there's a mind game with his back 1. There's a mind game to it. So just be on the lookout for that. Another string that he has is his down back 4-4. You want to try to duck that, because on hit he does get stock from this, but just kind of be on the lookout for it. Another move with Eddy that you want to be careful for, you really don't want to whiff in front of Eddy, because if you whiff in front of Eddy, he's gonna make it hurt. This has decent range. It's his down forward 3. It's launch punishable on block, but if he spaces it in a certain way, he can kind of, sort of, make it a little hard to punish. But this will always connect. Lars' 3+4 will always connect no matter what. So if you're ever unsure if you can get the arc blast, 3+4 will always connect. That will always connect. Another thing you want to look out for, you kind of want to duck. This you need to duck on reaction. Don't let Eddy get away with that. Make sure to duck and punish. Another string that you kind of want to keep in mind too is his forward 4. His forward 4 is similar to his back 1. It's kind of the same situation. It's the same mix-up. It's if he finishes his forward 4, or if he does the forward 4 just raw, he automatically goes into stance, into banana stance. But if he does the mids, just know that the mids is -12. just like that. But again, there's a mix-up right there. It's the same mix-up. It's the same thing as his back one. It's the same thing. So just be on the lookout for that. So when he's attacking you, you want to pay attention to this foot and this hand, because then that string is it's just a mix-up at that point. So pay attention to the foot and the hand, just like that. Another string you kind of want to duck is back 2-4. This is a duckable high. You want to try to duck that as well. So just be on the lookout for that. Go into practice mode and kind of work on it, your reaction when you see that. So be on the lookout for that. Don't let him get away with that. Eddy also has this move. It's his up back 4. He kind of kicks at you, and he kind of backs away, but he can still attack when he's doing that. But you, as a Lars player, you have range, so you can actually hit him out of that. Back 3-4. Back 3-4 always connects in that situation, because back 3 is 17 frames, and this is minus 17 on block. Just like that. And he cannot do a move fast enough to beat your back 3-4. So if he does that and he tries to do something else, it won't work, because this is a punish. So every time you see him do that move, punish. I try to see if 3+4 would work, but it doesn't. Because reason being is because when Lars does back 3-4 or back 3, he kind of steps forward. But when he does 3+4, he just kind of hops. So that's a punish that always works. Oh, and okay, this is important. This one is important. So when Eddy is charging at you, Eddy has a low, and this is a key low that they like to use. Whoops, that's not it. Hold on. That right there. That's his forward 3. It is honestly similar to Lars's forward 4. It's the same. It's the same movement. It's the same input. It works the same. It's a low that puts both characters into stance. It's kind of the same concept. So it's not a running move. He can't really, like, so if he's like away from you and he's like running at you, he would automatically do this jump kick. So what the Eddy player is probably going to want to do is he's probably going to want to be like around like maybe like this range right here. And if you see him kind of going forward, more than likely he's probably going to do the low. So you kind of want to think about it. So like, let's say you're playing Lars and you're doing your thing. Let's say you want to do the hell sweep. You're 4-4-4. You're kind of going to do it around here, right? Like probably like around here. With Eddy, it's the same concept. Eddy wants to do it probably around the same range, so probably like around like here. His has a counter hit property. It guarantees a grab, and the grab puts him in heat. It's a heat engager. If you block it, it's minus 14. So you punish with your wall standing 2-3. You can step it, but it's not the easiest to step. If you are gonna step it, you can try to step it to your left, but it's not the easiest thing to step. It's kind of difficult. Yeah, it's very hard to step. You can, but it's very difficult. I wouldn't recommend trying it. Honestly, I would just recommend trying to look for it and just block and punish. That's probably your best bet. You can step it, but it's very difficult. He does, however, have a mix up with it. He can mix up his forward 4. It is just a raw launcher. It's the same input, but Eddy players don't usually like to throw this out because it is punishable. It's minus 12, and if the Eddy player does that and you block it, you can punish it with your forward 2-1. Or your jab. something like that. So just be on the lookout for that. Oh, okay. And there's another situation that you should know about. Let me just, the best way I could show it is switching characters. So let's go ahead and do that. As I've fought Eddies, I've noticed that Eddy players, what they like to do sometimes is, let's say you hit them with your silent entry 2, something like that, right? One thing that Eddy players like to do, and it does work, is up forward 2. This will dodge your while standing 2. It does evade it. It evades all types of situations from it. Right? So, but, there is a big but. If you see an Eddy player doing that, you know what to do. Kill him. Do not let him get away with that. If you see that he keeps doing that, let him know that if you do that shit again, I'm gonna punch you in your fucking stomach and kill you. So let him know that, you know, if he does that, know what to do. You also have another option if you want to do that. If you want to have another option, you could do this. That does work. That does beat that as well. That does work. So you have two options in case the Eddy player tries to do that evasive bullshit. Just know that if he does that, he is risking eating a counter hit launcher, or he's risking getting kicked in the face for 40 damage. So those are your options if you see an Eddy player doing that. Eddies do like to do that. It has happened to me, but just know that you can shut that shit down. Oops, I didn't want to do that.
Get ready for the next battle.
Just to harp on this string again, I was talking about this earlier, but he has other ways to like do that plus on block string that I was talking about before. This is his back 4. He can do it from his back 4 and his while standing 4. But any variation of that you see him do that backflip thing, just know that you can sidestep right and punish, or jab him out of it. Don't let Eddy get away with that. And then he also has his up forward 3 and his up forward 3-4. It's a mid launcher and a low that is +7 on hit. That's the low. That's the mid. The mid is launch punishable. The low is -14, and the mid is -18. They don't really use that string too much, but just know that it is punishable. And also know that he can transition into banana stance from it. He doesn't have to commit to the last hit. He can transition into stance if he wants to. And then getting into frames. So when Eddy, let's say you don't, you eat this low, right? He automatically goes into negativa stance, but just know that he has 2 frame traps from this stance. 2 of them. There's 2 frame traps. The frame traps is this. It's a heat engager, and it's the hell sweep. The hell sweep is 16 frames, and the heat engager is 15 frames. So if he does the low, he's +6 in your face. You can dick jab, because any other mid that he does is not within frames. It's around the 18 to 17 range. But if you dick jab, just know that you are risking potentially eating a launcher, because if he does the hell sweep, it's a bad trade for you because it still launches you. So let me show you right now. So let's say you eat the low and you retaliate with a dick jab. You see how you still get juggled? So it's a bad trade for you. And if he does the heat engager, there's nothing stopping that. You just have to deal with that. You can't dick jab that. But he just has 2 frame traps from that stance. Yeah, so the biggest thing you want to kind of keep in mind is that a lot of his moves, they range around like they're around +6. And a lot of, so like when he does this handstand, it's +6. And that's when the frame traps that I mentioned prior come in, right? So it's either the heat engager or the hell sweep that can really check you. But all the other moves, he can't really check you like that. He doesn't have enough frames to do that. Besides the low and the heat engage. And then another thing you want to keep in mind when you're dealing with Eddy is you want to keep in mind about his sidestep moves. This move is very dangerous. It's safe on block. It has a decent amount of range. They like to use it as keep out. So sometimes they'll just be like away from you and they'll just kind of like throw it out in hopes that they get you. So be careful when approaching Eddy. It is a launcher and it is safe, so just be careful with that. But he has to do it from a sidestep. He can't just do it raw. He has to sidestep and then do it. But another thing you want to keep a note of is that the fastest move that he has from Negativa stance is 15 frames. So like, let's say he does this, and let's say you block it. Just do your down forward 2 because he can't block in that stance, and he doesn't have a move that's fast enough to stop you from doing that. You'll beat him. Yeah, and there you have it, guys. That is. I tried to compact it as much as I could because I know the other videos that are kind of lengthy and they're kind of like, you know, they're kind of jarring because they're so long and you might, you know, zone out a little bit. So it's kind of a lot to understand. But this is me trying to keep it a little bit more compact and really harp on the main points that I really wanted to hit with this character. Hopefully this will help you. If there is anything else that anybody else would like to share, go ahead and tell us in the comments. I'll be happy to read those because that'll help me too. Shit, I hate this character. He's annoying to deal with. Any information against him, more than happy to share. And I'd like to know if any of you guys know anything as well. And yeah, that's gonna do it for the Lars versus Eddy Gordo matchup. He has a lot of -14 stuff. He has duckable highs and strings. He has 2 stances, but yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I think I hit all the points I really wanted to harp on. So thank you guys for watching as always. Thank you for the continued love and support, guys, and I'll see you in the next Nico's World video. Have a good one, guys. Take care.